And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Zero Hour Asia Showdown. We are back with the second to last day of the tournament. And before we do go ahead with the match, I'd like to apologize on behalf of me because we were delayed a little bit because of some technical issues. But we are back now and we're going to get into the action very soon. It is going to be the grand finals of the lower brackets between two massive teams. And I believe none of you should be hoping to miss this matchup at all. It's going to be Online Dogs taking on Shoperbro in a best of three series going into this matchup. Both sides are going to come in with a bit of a redemption arc, I believe. One from the end of Shoperbro, who are known as a very experienced and reliable team, unlike my co-caster who isn't here, or is he?
Oh yeah,
I don't
for
really care.
sure it's my fault, right?
I don't care. I still somehow managed to get here before you. But going back to the conversation, not straying away from it.
Segue out.
Shopper Bro, the team that has a lot of experience, that has been in the competitive scene forever, pretty much, and these guys have built up a chemistry that is pretty much at its peak of all time. So this team has already shown potential in this in the game of Zero Hour in the previous tournaments and whatnot, and they've shown that they deserve to be near the top of the top. But they just couldn't really figure out the mechanics or understand maybe what the map demands, how the playstyle should be in a game like this, which is a little bit different from your typical first person shooter. So with that in mind, they have definitely sort of revamped themselves into a more reliable team that understands how this game works, that understands how the maps work. And they did take a hit early on in the tournament. That's why they're in the lower brackets, but they made the run. They're all the way here to the lower grand finals. And this will book their ticket to the grand finals if they can beat the other team that is Online Dogs. Speaking of them, they are the Fraxters. They're the Firecrackers. They have been dominant in every match they've played, but they were just shy of making their position in the grand finals solidified because of a little of not a little actually. It was a pretty impressive matchup between them and Rancor, who were pretty much the reigning champions. So
Absolutely.
they also have a bit of a redemption arc going themselves. So it's pretty much gonna be who has the better revenge story going into this game.
Yeah, when you think about it, Shopper Bro should be the ones to arguably take this victory, but you don't really know, right? There's a lot of big question marks that still need to be answered here because the other day we did witness something incredible coming in from members of Online Dogs to take that second map victory up against Rancor was absolutely astounding. You can tell that all the members of Online Dogs, they have a good fundamental understanding of the game, but then again, they just have a couple of weak links on the team that have yet to really showcase themselves on the server just yet. You can tell that some of their players, they don't have the same level of knowledge of the other ones, and that discrepancy really just pulls this team down in a lot of different ways, and it leaves a lot of gaps that most opponents can really capitalize upon. And we've seen this time in and time out. That's how the side of Online Dogs have a tendency of dropping out on a lot of their maps. While on the other side of the spectrum, you have a team such as Shoperbro. They're a lot more well rounded. You can tell that each and every player, they're in a league of their own, right? They are able to just take over a game just by themselves, especially when you think of players such as Hasib and Potato Hopper. Taha is Taha. Like, he's a completely different story. He can just run around, do whatever the hell he wants. He's like a mini mock, like an older mock, I would say, because Taha's quite a lot older than all of us. So he's like a mini mock, or like a big mock just running around everywhere. But that's a different side of the spectrum, right? You need to have all of your players really be at that exact same level if you want them to perform well in a very well-oiled environment, especially with the rounds being this long, 5 minutes, mind you. You need to have a lot of focus here, and that extra level of experience that the members of Shopper will bring onto the table should give them the edge here. But should and would are very completely different words for this side of the spectrum, and in a lot of ways, I'm a little bit worried on what could really happen for these particular maps, and really does depend on the selection as well. I do believe that we are going to be able to see the map veto in just a little bit, but
We
until
already
we
have
get
the
there.
map veto. It's the
Oh,
game one's gonna be on Embassy Raid, which we haven't
okay.
seen. I don't have we seen an all tournament, at least on the streams that I've been on. We haven't seen Embassy Raid in a while. And it's gonna be online dogs on the attack for the first half, and then defense is gonna be done by Shoperbro. Second map going into it's gonna be we're going into breaking met. Shoperbro will be attacking, and defense will be done by online dogs. And the final map is gonna be critical response, another map that I haven't seen personally a lot of in this tournament. But yeah, some interesting map picks coming in. I feel like it's a little bit what the side of Shopper Bro would prefer, because I we have seen the side of Online Dogs really embrace a lot of these newer maps like Breaking Myth or Prison Break, maps that haven't really been played in the competitive scene for Zero Hour that much, especially in this tournament. Shopper Bro, I think they're willing to stick to their older roots, at least going back to that first tournament where these are the maps that were played quite often. We saw the hotel map as well. These are the maps that have been going around there for quite a while. So I think that is what they're trying to pull it back into, a bit of more of a home ground feeling. But again, this could again be Online Dogs just maybe trying to play some tricks on them.
Yep, we gotta wait and see what's gonna happen for this particular map here because Embassy Raid is gonna be quite an interesting map pickup. That is for certain for this particular team, but I do believe that there's gonna be a slight little bit of slight little bit of a delay here. Still, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna need to wait and see.
Do we have a break? Okay, okay. Well, I guess no, I don't think we're gonna have a break. I think the match is gonna begin very soon. Again, apologies for the delay, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna get into it as soon as possible, and hopefully, we're gonna get aggressive, a little less static as well. Blood's looking good. I mean, he looks nice and shiny there in that picture. Some dude standing in front of him that's really ruining the whole thing, but
Oh, for sure.
uh. Yeah, my blood's looking all right. I like him. I like him with less movement. I like him with less dynamic in the video. But yeah, it's the match will begin
I will
very
send
soon,
you
and
pictures. Yes.
we're not assuming anything over here aggressive. Let's keep our thoughts to ourselves, especially you. But the thought that I do want to take or express, in my opinion, is that do we think that Shopperber really has done enough research going into this tournament, or for based on what we have seen throughout the lower brackets? Online dogs, be it there be some rooms for improvement. A lot of things.
Oh. Okay, I do believe that we have a slight bit of an issue here, but I guess
We
that's
do.
a different thing entirely. But for now, let's just see where this is gonna go for them. But overall, you can tell that all the members here, especially when you consider what the members of Shopper Bro have been doing, and it's not gonna be that big of a surprise, right? If they are the ones to really take this one game away for themselves in this BO3, we have seen this time in and time out that hey, the teams are pretty well oiled to say the very least, and the way that they have set themselves up, especially because we know for a fact that Shopper Bro have been putting in the hours, not just in this game but also in the other games that they generally play. Don't forget, like I told this to you in the past, right, that a lot of the members of Shopper Bro, they're family men. They're way above in their 30s at this point. Now coming back to play this video game, to play Zero Hour, it's dragged in a massive audience for this particular country. And I'm here to see all of it because here in the Asia Showdown 2025, they've been pulling off miracles, and up against a lot of these other international teams that have played, you can see that the level of knowledge that we have as players are really apparent.
Well, sorry to cut you off there, aggressive, but I believe we are gonna have to take a short break again. Very sorry for the delays, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back with the action, and I promise you, it's gonna be worth the wait. So we're gonna take a short break to fix any issues that we are facing, and we'll see you very soon. And ladies and gentlemen, we are back with the 0 Hour Ages Showdown. And again, very sorry because Aggressive is finally moving. I know that sucks. We are all trying to deal with it. I hope you'll be patient, but the bigger sorry should be for the fact that the match was delayed. But regardless, we are back, and the match will begin very shortly. We fixed out all the issues we had for you, and we cannot wait to get this lower bracket final started. And as if you needed another reminder, it is Online Dogs taking on Shoperbro, both teams that have proven the resilience and improved tenfolds in this new season compared to what they were when the game was in a lot early, a more younger state in its esport. But the thing is that only one of these teams can move on to the grand finals, take on the reigning champions, Rancor, and maybe take a shot at dethroning them. Question is, who is it gonna be? They're gonna face off in a best of three and Aggressive. I can't really take them apart at this point, honestly.
Yeah, we kind of talked about this before, the stream had such a long pause here that in a lot of ways it should be the members of Shopper who take it just because of their track record, just because of what they have proven time and time out of what they're capable of doing. Don't forget, Shopper Bro, they lost against Red Wings previously, and that they were the people who shut them down over to the lower bracket. Like I got this as a back end thing, right? Where they were like Udit was telling me, hey, we were the ones who sent them to the lower brackets. And then we're the ones who lost to them in the lower bracket run. So you can tell that the team has really evolved in their overall pacing and strategy, and they want to make it to the very end at the bare minimum. And this is what we really want to see here in this particular country and in this particular esports here too, that Zero Hour as a whole, they've built upon a lot of the different strategies, and with the teams now slowly starting to figure out that, hey, this is how we're meant to play this game, this is how we're meant to make our opponents uncomfortable. The speed at which these entries happen, the pacing at which they're generally playing the maps out as well, it has drastically evolved. And you can tell that Online Dogs and Shopper Bro, they have very similar playstyles because of that very reason. But it goes back to that point I made previously, the weak links of that particular team. Certain players are just not able to cope up to the pacing that is being brought onto them. They're not able to adapt to the exact same styles. And that's kind of what's going to be the problem here if the members of Online Dogs are just not careful, because all the members on the side of Shopper Bro, they know how to play at the exact same pace. They don't slow down and they don't fall behind anything. And on a map like Embassy Raid, if you're not really prepared to take those fast engagements very quickly, like in 30 seconds taking a room all by yourself, or maybe utilizing a drone to take that portion of the map away, you're going to be in a pretty tough spot.
And we've seen those kinds of mistakes being made by the side of Online Dogs, and that has caused them. And I would say that's a major contributing factor to why they are in the lower brackets instead of maybe trying to put up more of a fight against Rancor and possibly ending up in the grand finals. That definitely sort of set them in the path, or at least is one of the factors that set them into the path. And if they don't get those strategies set up in mind going into this one, it's a lower bracket matchup. You lose this, you're solidifying a third place finish. It's not a bad finish to have, but after all you've been through, is that what you're really satisfied with? I don't think so. And at the very least, I can say Shopper Bro are definitely feeling a little bit more confident going into this matchup. They definitely took their time to develop their understanding of the mechanics and the metas and how the map should be played, how the pacing of the game is. And it's not like the usual esports that they might have played, but again, they have a lot going for them. Their synergy, the team play. These guys have been playing competitively forever, and they've been playing together forever, and each and every title that they touch, they excel in. So I feel like, given the time that they've had, they should definitely come into this matchup guns blazing as we go into the action phase for the first map of this series. Again, it's a best of three. Winner is gonna head directly to face up against Rancor in the grand finals, which is the day after tomorrow. And that is gonna be an epic battle regardless of who takes the cake today. But again, reminder, Online Dogs are going to be on the attacking side. They are the ones who are surrounding the building right now, and they already have spotted the player. That's nothing. Don't, if it's the first time seeing Embassy Raid, don't be surprised. The bulletproof glass is it's a bit of a a friendly hello spot before the match actually begins. But yeah, Piranha, he's already taken some ground, already entered into the compound, and again, I'm not really seeing shields come in. Or there's the drone I was just about to point out, but the drone has come out, and some utility is being prioritized by online dogs. Again, that is something that they are slowly implementing in their strategies. And Piranha, that aggression added on will give him the first kill. But a quick trade from Hasib, he's going to get that 1-for-1. And Libra can do nothing but watch as it's turning into a 4v4. He should know there's another player there based on what just went down. But again, what a way to kick off this first map.
I'm kind of confused at why Libra is still waiting on the outside. He already has the position of all the players, so he should be the ones to start really pushing it forward. You can't really shoot out any of these players, so that means that you're gonna need to play this one a little bit faster. This is kind of the problem of playing Embassy Raid as a map. I kind of hate it because it forces you to get yourself into the building and you can't really play from the outskirts. Repels, yeah, they are strong, but there are a few positions on this map where you can even shoot through these windows. Almost every single window in this map is bulletproof, which makes it so difficult for the attackers to really break in or find those opening picks unless they play super risky. You saw that Piranha was able to work his way in like as deep as he could possibly into the map, and then got to the breaker room. But as soon as he got to that breaker room, he couldn't really push himself in towards the building anymore because he's just gonna be stuck, because the defenders of course have a very powerful position that they can play for. It's the small details like this that make Embassy Raid as a map one of the worst maps that you can play for in the game of 0 hour. It's very difficult as an attacker to work this out, but knowing online dogs, they just need one more of an opener kill to really just take this one away. But looking at Shoperbro, all their players just have all of their angles isolated out. They're ready for any position that the members of online dogs could be coming from here.
I think that kind of goes along the lines of what I pointed out early on, that the side of Shoperbro are definitely a little bit more comfortable on this map. It is a map that they have played the earlier tournaments in quite a few games on, so that gives them an edge going into this. Maybe online dogs are a little bit rusty. They might not have been active on this, especially in the recent few matches. But again, they should have some understanding of how they need to play. Maybe they need to get in the groove a little bit as the match begins. We do see great positions being held by Seth Shoperbro, pretty much holding on to all the avenues and set up in a position or set up in a way that they can take these gunfights confidently. And we know how the individualism for each members of Shoperbro, because they themselves might not be the flashy fracksters, but they definitely each possess their own unique quirks and mechanics. Just like that first kill coming in favor of the side of Shoperbro, but the quick trade from Libra is not gonna let that one pass this time. He already lost one teammate, so he's gonna try and keep things even. 3 versus 3. Again, very spread out. Time has been ticking. It's only 2 minutes, barely 2 minutes left on the clock, as everyone's very spread out, and I'm not really seeing the side of online dogs maybe try and use those intel utilities that don't find some of these players on the outskirts and maybe overwhelm them with numbers. Maybe go for some double peaks or 3v1 strategies. Nothing like that. They're all taking these 1v1 fights, and so far it's only resulting in trades, and that might work out for this match. I mean, it's still too early to tell, but again, that's a very risky strategy. Heard the drop, and he's gonna get the shot onto Ghost. He knew he was there the whole time. He's just waiting for that push to come in. But again, online dogs aren't able to really utilize the entirety of the map. Libra again going through the same angle. I think the drop should be heard again. They're moving in. Libra connects the shot, but so does Taha. It's gonna be a trade 1-for-1, and leaving Smokey in a 1 versus 2. He's gonna be stuck outside on the bottom floor. Pushing in is gonna be a difficult task. So now I think the side of Shoperbro should be playing the objective and clog. He doesn't even need his teammate. He's gonna take that 1v1, and Shoperbro with the first round of the map, first round of the series in their favor. 1-0, and online dogs, it's just, I think compared with the map, they're not used to. I mean, they should know the map, but it's just they're not used to it. And alongside that, they just seem a little confused and all over the place. Not really the organized playstyle that they need to have at this stage.
Shoperbro just did a pretty good run on their own accord here. This is pretty interesting to say the very least, as the way that online dogs generally have been playing, it's a little bit more of a surprise because I kind of understand why they're spreading themselves out a lot on this particular map, because it's kind of difficult for you to play sticking together as a team where every single point of entry in this map is a corridor. And you can't really fight for repels either, right? As a defender, you have all the information that you would ever want in this entire universe. Think about it. You stand behind a bulletproof window, and what the hell are the attackers gonna do? They can't go in through that through the door anymore. That's right next to the bulletproof window, because the defenders, they're gonna be at a significant advantage swinging into you in that particular engagement. And it's just a standstill. It's like a Mexican standoff where both of you cannot even pull out your weapon to pull that trigger, because you know for a fact that whoever tries to do it first, they're gonna be the ones to lose, or they're gonna be the ones to win. You can't always take those risks, and Shoperbro are just utilizing it to its fullest. Running down the clock this far is pretty adamant on that particular instance here. One of the best ways that I do believe that the attackers can work their way inside and possibly take it away from the defenders is just by utilizing flashes. And I don't know why we don't see a lot more flashes coming in the hands of online dogs, because if you are not willing to flash your opposition to try and take over the lines of sight that they're trying to hold on to, you're never going to be able to break into Embassy Raid. This is not a very generic 0-hour map. Flashes reign supreme here a lot more than nades.
Definitely, especially in those hallways with the bulletproof glass and whatnot. You gotta be creative with how you approach the player's position there, and the fact that I mean, you can see each other very clearly and you see what's happening. You need to have a unique plan going into that. Either flash yourself in or have a shield rush in, something that will just put a lot of pressure on that player. But it seems like the pressure is gonna be stacking on top of online dogs. As Piranha, he's gonna fall very early into the matchup, and a follow up onto Ghost from Taha. Seems like online dogs are just not prepared for this map. I didn't even see what happened, but I can just tell that they just were not expecting the players to be in those positions that ready. Definitely not something that they expected going into the first map, and this will again take a hit on them. It's a best of 3. Even if they lose out on this, still early to call. It's not the end of the world, but that will definitely come with the mental toll of knowing that elimination is at stake. The first map has not gone in your favor by a long margin. Still, it's a 3v5, even though it's imbalanced. You can't really count a team out. I mean, maybe you can start counting them out right now as Taha gets one more. Libra added to the list. Slowly but steadily. Maybe I might start counting them out this round. No? I mean, we've seen Mock do things like this before. Question is, can the players of online dogs recover in a similar fashion? And Sniper Hunt is very careful about pushing in. He's aware these players could be anywhere. And without that drone support, it's not really wise to go in without knowing who's on the other side of that map. He's still hearing, I believe he's hearing a lot of noises. He knows that there are players in the opposite room. So he sees that peak, tries to get a wall bang using the bulletproof glass. Shots should connect. He's gonna take some hits as well. He's reading this right, but it's just that he's unable to land the shot, and being isolated from his teammate, he's not gonna be able to do much, and Fatar will just take full advantage of that. He's gonna get the kill and leave Smokey in a 1v5. They know exactly where he is. They're gonna spot him out the window, and they're gonna come running out. Smokey, can he use this to his advantage? He will for one, but Taha is gonna come in with a follow-up, and that's gonna make this a 2-0 scoreline. Online dogs, I mean, it's not even a question of their strategy. It's just they weren't ready for such early aggression from Shoperbro, and that's something that I love to see. A team that has diverse protocols in every map they play. They can be aggressive, they can be passive, they can just try and play for space, try and play for rooms, and for map control. Shoperbro, it seems like they're coming up with all these unique ways to play each and every map, and that could be the difference maker for this first one.
Absolutely. This is what you really want to see coming out from them on the defensive side. But we have seen this too, that the members of Shoperbro are very reliant on their defensive side to try and take strong victories up against their opposition. So online dogs, they could be biding their own time until they go over onto their own defensive end and teach the members of Shoperbro a thing or two about how to play Embassy Raid. You never really know, because a lot of teams have, it's very apparent, right, that every single team in this tournament have put a lot of thought in how they're going to play the defense, but not as much thought on how they're going to be attacking. And understandable, this happens in almost every single tactical shooter of this nature, but very few teams are really able to make that attack side work. And whichever team does have a very strong attack side, generally, they're the ones to take victory.
At this point, it's not even coming up with unique attack strategies. It's more like countering the defensive play styles that most of the teams are coming up with. It's not even a game of chess yet. It's just you're figuring out what they're doing. Are they being aggressive? Then let's hold out. Let's play with some information utility. Then let's use the shield to try and deny these players the positions that they're taking. If they're being passive, just try and fill up with some nades, try and fill up with some flashbangs, and then put the pressure on the players that have their backs against the walls. It's stuff like that that makes some of these plays really linear. And online dogs, I believe that they definitely have a stronger suit in defense based on some of the maps we've seen. We've seen them in Residential House, we've seen them in Breaking Meth and Prison Break as well. They definitely come up with great plans on the defensive end, and their fragging potential definitely helps there. But again, they've got to be cohesive on the attack as well. And other than that being a major flaw in the entirety of the esport, I feel like that's an extra flaw for online dogs, because they struggle on taking that initiative. And other than their team players not being necessarily brave, they also don't find the support while they rush in. We saw the shield player, we saw Ghost on the shield in Residential House. He is afraid to push in, but the times he did push in, the times he did take space, his teammates were very far behind. And that can really hinder the momentum you set up or you pre-plan for. But speaking of Ghost, he will find the first one with Taha. I believe Taha maybe was a little overzealous on the gunfight. Those open stairwells aren't the best place to peek outside, and Ghost was ready for it, possibly. But the point is, it's going to be a 4 versus 5. Despite being low, Ghost is still in the fight, and Libra, again, this time very close to the objective, trying to bait out these shots. He will connect some bullets.
Oh, he tried to run
and peek. That wasn't the best time to run in the open, and Fatah is going to take full advantage of that. That's going to give them the equalization and a follow-up as a Seeb just like a boogeyman pops out of the stalls in the washroom. Taking out Piranha, 2 big players fall for online dogs.
Bloody Mary.
Oh yeah. He wasn't even in the bathroom. He had no candle. He didn't say the thing thrice. He just went inside. Bloody Mary
Probably
doesn't
the grudge, then.
Yeah. Could be. But online dogs now a tough oh god, man. That's a little unfortunate. Can't do too much about that. The timing was in his favor. Sniper Hunt's gonna fall, leaving the players of online dogs in a 2 versus 4. Ghost. Good for one, but he's gotta find more. Smokey is running out of utility. Might even run out of bullets, even though he's a P90. That thing has a mag that's the quantity of bullets is almost the same as the quantity of annoyingness that Aggressive has. But
are you done? Or do I need to send you to English school just to learn how to form sentences properly?
Don't blame me for your autism.
Surely.
Point is, Smokey.
I hate these bulletproof things, dude.
Yeah,
like, what do you do against this? Like, you can't even take this fight. Of course, the defenders are gonna have the advantage. Every single goddamn portion of this map is a goddamn corridor, and all of the windows and doors are see-through. So as an hacker, you have no element of surprise. You need to have flashes. You need to have smoke. God damn if nades ever work out on this map, because even when I was scrimming this map back in this Bangladesh 0-hour open, I told my teammates that, hey, just take flashes and smoke, because this map, you're never going to be able to do anything.
it's just they're not being able to coordinate enough on the attacking end. Even though it's a very hard map to coordinate on, and it's a very hard map to just play cohesively. Online dogs, they aren't even their attempts are also failing miserably. I'm really hoping that this switch up helps them out a little bit as they go into the defensive end. Again, the map will come into question here. The Embassy Raid could be a map that they're not entirely familiar with, or at least the memories are a little rusty, or a little dull, should I say, since you want better sentences, my friend. But but yeah, I mean, this is where they have to make their stance. This is where they have to bring it back. This is your defensive end where you shine, where you have displayed such great potential. Be it against Shoperbro this time, be it on a map that you might not have played in a while, you're not entirely comfortable in. But now is where you gotta make it count, because after if you lose this first map, the pressure just adds on. And I believe these players are aware of it. They've been in these scenarios before, be it in a different esports. Pressure is the same, and they do not want that. This first map victory is gonna be very crucial in this entire series.
Okay, to see where they're gonna go with this one, because online dogs now, they need to prove themselves out for this map and for the following too, because if they're having a tough time on this map only, think about what's going to happen to them when Breaking Meth rolls around. A map that has historically been in the favor of Shoperbro, time in and time out. Even up against the really much more difficult teams, Shoperbro has proven that that map is where they're really the most comfortable in. And surprisingly, I have yet to see a lot of the residential house get picked up by any of these teams. I think everyone has just started to figure out that residential house is easily one of the worst maps in the game to play on.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I feel like some of these maps aren't. I mean, no shade to the devs, but some of them could use a little esports modification. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, a lot of these maps are coming directly from maybe the AI mode or a campaign mode. So that in those scenarios, okay, that's fine. But in an esports environment, I feel like there should be some sort of balancing. Ghost
There we
will,
go.
yeah, Ghost will imbalance the player count a little bit. 4 versus 5, a good start for online dogs. They definitely needed this. Can they keep the momentum going is the question. They are utilizing the awkward bulletproof glasses really well, trying to cause a ruckus on the timing. Fatar, he's very much aware. We can see the awareness from the players of Shoperbro. They know how nasty this can be if they're not careful. They're trying their best to be careful.
They've gone on a very forward-ended approach, so especially with now being utilized. That's gonna give them a time to really play for. But Ghost just instantly catches out Fatar. He heard the drop sound, and immediately he's gonna be able to get that kill. Pretty much giving the same case here of what's really waiting for them on the opposite side. They're making those mistakes, and here comes the flaws for it all. As Potato Hopper now on the opposite side, he's trying to work his way in towards the building, down over to the 25 situation as Ghost. It's gonna be the one who's the dagger and the knife for the team of like dogs. One of the players have been spotted over from the bottom side. Clog in towards the corner. He does find the kill though, and maybe this is where things does start to stabilize. More than 4 minutes left on the clock. Ample amounts of time to try and find a full-on proper mounting comeback. But if Potato Hopper drops there, he's given away the info, and he can't really risk this. Considering the amount of ground they still have to cover, we have not yet seen the face of the site, mind you. That's how massive this map is, and that's how difficult it is for the attackers to scale up, even when they have a man advantage.
Yeah, it's just there's no straight avenue. You really have to go through all these nooks and crannies before you even take the fight to the objective. And at any point, online option decide to like, okay, it's not worth it. Let's just play the objective, slow down, hold around the rooms in that vicinity. But right now they're still willing to take some of these fights. We are seeing some gunfights go down. Libra, they're all trying to bait out some of these peaks, but I think the side of Shoperbro will slow things down a little bit. Have Barely 3 minutes on the clock. It's okay to turn down the pace, especially when you're this scattered and isolated. I mean, it shouldn't have been gone, or they shouldn't have let this go to this state in the first place. But right now, take your time, reorganize, come up with a plan. They are trying to move in towards the objective, but now there are there players on the second floor. They need to clear them out, or else it's going to be a hellhole in that objective zone. I believe they're aware of this. They're trying to push up to the second floor. Taha spots the player in the bathroom. He's going to try and maintain such a tough angle to take that fight from. He's going to run out of ammo and he's going to have to fall back. The entire push has to wait. Taha has to clear out some of these avenues before he can support his teammates. But no, instead of he's going to take the first kill. But Taha, he's got the reaction time of a god as he knows the players on the opposite side. Follow up though, Clog's going to fall into a 1v2 and Smokey's ready for the peak. He's gonna take him down 3-1. First round for Online Dogs on their defensive end. Still, I mean, it was a bit of a struggle though for Online Dogs. I mean, for both sides, honestly, they were kind of all over the place. And Online Dogs were just better on the gunfights, I believe.
Yeah, and that's very much apparent here because of the way that this hasn't gone down here. The flaws of this map are really apparent now at this point in time, right? That defensive side is where pretty much any team is going to be reigning supreme, unless, of course, the members of Online Dogs just give away those elevator drops for free. The only way you're going to be able to work your way into this map is to go in from the bottom floor. Like, this is very stupid, right? Generally, what do you want to do on a game like this? You want to go from the top floor down, right? But going from the top floor down on this particular map is almost close to impossible because there's only one staircase where you can do that, and that staircase leads you into a goddamn corridor that you will have no way of working your way in from. The only way you're going to be able to play this map is to send two players at the very top. They're going to create some pressure for those upper floors, and then you send the rest of the three down from the bottom with a drone. And utilizing that drone, you can get as close as you possibly can to the hostage room. And from there, you ask your upper floor players to really start to clear out or cause some noise from that side so that your bottom floor players can try to isolate out a couple of those angles. It's a very difficult map to attack on. It's close to impossible to try and find a free player that you can outsmart or outposition from the defensive side because of how do I put it? Because of how easy it is to play the defensive side of this map. You have all the information that you need. You don't even need cams, mind you. Even if you don't have cams on this map, you're completely fine because all the windows are see-through. And all of the doors are see-through as well, so the attackers can't even hide themselves.
Yeah, you can just play pretty isolated as long as you maintain communication with your teammates that, okay, this is where I am. I'm holding down these avenues and, you know, take notes with the rest of them that if every point of entrance is closed off or not. And if you get taken down, relay that information as well. It's very individualistic, but still such a solid setup on the defensive side. But again, I believe that pincer move that you did does give them the best chance to try and take this stacking end. Again, Sniper with the first on to Hasib. I believe he got him on the rappel, if I'm not wrong. I could be. But again, such tough angles to fight from. I believe Fatar was not intending to go for that upside down rappel. Could have cost him his life, but he lives to see another day. This Clog is trying to keep his eyes on this open stairwell. Such a tough position to attack from. Defenders can, as long as they remain passive, they can hold that till the end of the round and show up later with the lurk. Again, Fatar, he's on the rappel. The players are trying to use some utility against him. I got a player. I think he downed someone. Or no, that could be a previous body. But he will die regardless. Ghost takes that kill. He's going to hold on to this point. Potato can't really push in. He's losing teammates left, right, and center. And now, without a plan, without enough players, it's pretty much done and dusted. Don't know how they're gonna come back from this unless some of these players from Online Dogs get a little overzealous. Some miraculous shots connect. I'm not seeing this going in their favor.
Yeah, this is gonna be tough. This is pretty apparent, right? Same problems that we are seeing from the members of Online Dogs when they were on that attack side. It's just hard to find an avenue on where to go, especially up against a team like Online Dogs. Their biggest strength is holding angles, right? And as long as they're able to hold angles, they're able to do wonders with it. But never mind, maybe these are the equalizers that they needed. Making a lot of noise here. Map control finally established. 3 minutes 30 seconds left on the clock. They do have the position of one of the players at the bare minimum. They've heard him out, but the thing is, they need to find that shot. Clock on the opposite side of the map gets the headshot instead. That's Smokey now getting put down onto the floor. And there's a solid chance that they can win this on the attack side. Close to impossible for them to do so, but still a probability here. Clog has been taken down, so it's still a 2v2. Positions revealed as Fatar needs to try and make a run for it. One player down right below him as he needs to be careful what's waiting for him on the opposite side. But with so much information already being given away, they need to work their way in towards the hostage room. But Fatar, I don't think he has any idea that a player is really close to him. And I don't believe that not any of the members of Online Dogs have an idea that Clog, he's now down onto the floor. Oh, never mind, he died already.
Yeah, I mean, they're in such open spaces right now. A wrong move, a wrong timing could cost him his life. Fatar spots him out. The glasses are making this a little interesting. Nate comes in, doesn't connect. He's gonna go for the peek as he's trying to run away, but he's got to be careful. The player on his left side, is he still trying to isolate this fight? Potato gets the other one. It's gonna be a 1v2. They've turned this around. There's a big chance right now as they're playing.
No way they win! The attack on this map!
They win a round on attack, 4-1, one off map point. And I think Libra was just trying to play ring around the rosy, but took a wrong turn.
Not like this.
That's the fumble of the century. I'm out here. I'm putting it in stone. That's the fumble of the century.
In this game's competitive lifespan, this has to be the fumble of the century for them because, good God, this is not how things should have ended. I don't know how to say it, Shoperbro. Oh, you just pull off a miracle because I've never seen a team be able to pull off an attack round like this unless their opponents just gave it to them on a gold platter, not even a silver platter. Make it a diamond platter because, god damn it, this is that rare, mind you, ladies and gentlemen, to win on the attack side of this particular map if your opponents are playing it well enough and they're not missing their shots. It's not even a case of missing their shots. You can just waste as much time as you want because you already know where the attackers are going to be coming from. It's tough to say the very least, but Online Dogs, they're going to be kicking themselves with that one because from here on out, they're treading on thin ice. Not only because, hey, it's match point. This is also the round before the swap happens. Before Shoperbro, they're going to be the ones to go onto their defensive side. So they're almost guaranteed victory on this map because of this scoreline.
I mean, it's... I'm still stuck on that last round. I'm trying to move forward. I'm trying to analyze the situation now that, okay, what are Online Dogs, their
like after your
potential propositions. You didn't have to go there. You didn't have to go there. You didn't have to go
He's
there.
still analyzing that, ladies and gentlemen.
You didn't have to go. Now that analysis is done. I'm a douche. But the analysis for this map is what's really bugging my mind. That is this really gonna, you know, I mean, Shoperbro didn't do anything mind-bending or tactically sound.
Yeah, they just peaked. They
just
just peaked and won.
They just won the gunfights, and I'm like, oh yeah, if they can keep doing this, can they keep doing that? Or are Online Dogs gonna continue to give them that opportunity? They might. This is just how weird this map is that you can't.
Are you kidding me?
How does he not see him? Are you blind, my guy?
I mean,
someone took the piranha out of the water and put him in land, and like, now see, fight, go.
listen, his mouse was not talking. Remember that. But again, he was on an upside down rappel, right? So it's kind of understandable. That's hard to see the player on that particular angle. You don't even see the rappel at the very top. So I get it, but like, I don't know. This is just a very weird situation where online dogs now they're giving away kills instead. As Shoperbro, if they're able to win on the attack side, this is going to be a miracle and a half for them. As Vitar needs to work his way around from the side of bathroom, pretty much has spotted out every single one of the defenders. So he does know that the bottom floor is pretty much free real estate for him. He was able to build on top of it. It's all about the timing now. Work your way towards the staircase and just try to rendezvous with your teammates to try and go in for this hit. But really do wonder, do they have flashes to try and make this one work? Yes, they do. It's Qatar having the open. He
Wait,
got the perfect angle on Libra, who was none the wiser for
okay.
this duel. This is happening, ladies and gentlemen. A possible round victory and a map victory on the attack side of Embassy. Hasib gets another one. Hasib fights two. Never really mind. Last one. He spotted Hunter's
No
position.
way.
It's already revealed. It's not
way.
where he needs to make a run for it to try and make this one work. Too many players.
Try.
They're still alive. And it's a 5-1 victory. We jinxed it so hard as
You
the
don't have
casters.
to try to win on defense on this map. You don't even have to try. You don't even have to try.
Oh God.
Okay, don't even go to cams. You don't want to see me right now. You do not want to see my face. But yeah, that's gonna be Shoperbro taking the first map in their favor. The lower bracket finals is going very
Here's
much.
a mess even more, bro. More than
No,
usual.
no, that's not your hair. That's just your personality. But Shoperbro, their personality is gonna be pretty flamboyant considering that they just won the first map on Embassy Raid nonetheless. Winning 2 rounds on attack, that will definitely boost their momentum and give them that comfort shield going into the next one. And considering the fact that the next map is gonna be on Breaking Met, the map that Online Dogs has some experience on, definitely know how to play that a little better than, at least I expect a little better than what they performed on Embassy Raid. It will not be an easy fight, even though considering that they might be down a low on the momentum side, or they might be feeling a little, less confident after this performance. They definitely needed this, comfort to go in the rest of the series. If you want to, carry on your redemption arc to try and get Rancor back. But yeah, what an interesting first map to say the very least.
Not in the way that you would expect it. And hey, map number 2 is just going to get even more interesting because it's going to be breaking meth. And we all know for a fact that Shoperbro on this map have shown to be absolutely unstoppable. But we cannot underestimate the members of Online Dogs here either because they have proven it time and time out that if they dig in deep, this team can really step forward. This lower bracket grand finals is just shaping up to be something big here, ladies and gentlemen. As we set up game number 2, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with a lot more 0-hour action.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are back to the Zero Hour Asia Showdown, carrying on with the lower bracket finals. It is Online Dogs taking on Shoperbro, and Shoperbro pulling, I wouldn't say an upset, but a surprise, definitely winning the first map on Embassy Raid, in an unexpected fashion. That's all. That's all I'm gonna say. It was not the win or the way we thought they would win, but we definitely knew that they had an edge going into the map, and it shows. They're gonna be the first team to take a map, and 1-0 is the scoreline. We're gonna go into breaking map very soon, but after that first map aggressive, do you think Shopper Bro they're gonna set the tone for the rest of the series, or are Online Dogs gonna reorganize or something?
I mean, could be the case. We don't really know, right? But after what happened in map number one, they are going to be devastated about that for a 5-1 victory on the map of Embassy Raid. I mean, that just does not happen at any moment of time. And you can tell that that just happened purely based upon the gunfight capabilities of the players of Shoperbro. And going into Breaking Meth, a map that just awards you to have good gunfight potential here. Yeah, of course, strategy is going to reign supreme on certain portions of the map, but we've seen that most of the strategies just boil down to, hey, I create pressure from the roof. The players that are going to be playing from Spiral Staircase, they're going to start peeking the player that's on the exterior position of Spiral Staircase. So the player on the exterior goes in for the kill. Boom, man advantage done. We take this victory from there. That's how it's generally built up on this map. You also have the thing we call the goody room or the pepper room at the bottom floors. It's just very key portions of the map that you just take control of as the attackers or as the defenders that makes their life living, breathing hell. And it all just comes down to who has the better execution, who has the better drone work to really play that map out properly. And knowing that very structure, we know that Shopper Pro, they are the better team just to utilize their utility. I will never say that both of these teams are mechanically unmatched. It's more like one singular player with their mechanics are able to perform so well that, again, just going back to that point that I stated out previously, a lot of the players are just on the side of Online Dogs are not able to keep up with what Shopper is bringing onto the table. And that's been apparent over and over again.
And that's definitely going to come into play in this map as well. I am interested to see what Shopper Bros approaches are to this map. I personally haven't seen them play on the newer maps like Prison Break or this one, Breaking Myth. I do want to see how they implement their tactical stances and the way they keep control of the map, because again, Embassy Raid, they displayed good defense. They definitely played the primary styles really well, but that was just a weird map. That wasn't the perfect example of how the defensive setup should be. And again, attack is a little bit more proficient, is a little bit more free on this map of Breaking Met. So I want to see some interesting strats coming in from them as well, paired with their mechanical skills and their gunfight capabilities. Online Dogs, here's the experience part. It's gonna go in a little bit in their favor, where they might have played a lot of many strong teams or teams that
True.
are keeping up with the meta a little bit more than Shopper Bro. I mean, this is purely based on the map picks. I am assuming that maybe Shopper Bro haven't really fit into these new shoes or haven't really fit into the meta that these competitive players have built up. Some of the teams like Rancor, they're going for the newer maps and the play styles that they are settling for, something that Shopper Bro hasn't fully mastered yet. So they're trying to keep things to their strengths, keep things in a home ground environment, and they're gonna be a little uncomfortable going outside of that. So a lot of adaptability is gonna come in as well. So Online Dogs definitely have an edge in that instance. They have those gunfights. They know a little better, comparatively this map. So it still should be a battle of the ages. It's all going to be a factor that if they can outgun a lot of these and hold on to these key positions that you mentioned on the map, and can they maintain their composure after a harsh loss like that on Embassy Raid? That will, regardless of the stature or the way they lost, say it went completely different ways. Say it went on for overtimes after overtimes, that would still take a hit. That would still drain you a little bit mentally, especially knowing that this is your ticket to the grand finals. This is your ticket for redemption, for revenge against Rancor. Your chance to dethrone the Kings of Zero Hour, at least at this point of time. If you fumble this, you're not gonna be able to get that opportunity. You're not gonna be able to get that glory that you worked so hard for. Again, a third prize will be the consolation for the losers of this matchup. Winners, as I said, going to the grand finals to take on Rancor, a team that has been early dominant, and I feel like they're just the best of every world. I mean, not complimenting. I mean, I guess I am complimenting them, but they every single aspect of the game. You might be a little proactive. You might play a little fast and have some rushes up your sleeve. You might play with information, drones. You might utilize the shield. Utilities like grenades and flashbangs might use a little bit more work, but map knowledge, everything else, they're excelling in all of those. At least compared to a lot of the other teams, Rancor is doing really well in every stature. So both of these teams who are facing off right now, they're definitely gonna have to excel themselves in those points and put up a better fight. I mean, again, we're not seeing their proficiencies really show up based on that first map. Shoperbro on the attack again need to still maintain their composure and not really let that win get to their heads, because again, now this is a map that they should be a little bit uncomfortable in. I could be very wrong though. I mean, they could have done their homework, honestly, and they could have just baited everyone to think that they're still the old guys with families and not enough time to play and learn maps. Who the hell does that? I mean, they just might do it as we start things off. They're aware of the basement entrance. They're holding their positions, not really looking out for any other players on the first or second floors. They are still careful of the windows. Father is going to be the one who's going to try and explore and try and take care of any lurkers hiding out there. He might have already spotted someone out. It's going to be a risky play to really take or you know, look through all this space all alone. He doesn't have the drone with him. He doesn't have a shield player or any player alongside him. So
Goodbye, Piranha.
Did they go to the other room?
No way.
He went to the stairs. That's
No way.
That's
How?
so unfortunate. He knew exactly where he is. And he gets another one, Hasib. He was crawling up from behind, and he gets taken down as well. Potato trades. But again, two pieces of utility lost out for nothing. Two more players as well. Piranha, he'll take that any day of the week.
Okay, that is questionable to say the very least, but if it works, it works, I guess. Piranha being able to shut down two players. And at the end of the day, if this is how it's going to go, right? The members of Shoperbro now need to try and figure out a way to pick up those fallen pieces, to say the very least. But we're now stabilizing here up to the point where we're going to be able to turn this one around, because Shoperbro now at this instant are not really looking to be in the best of spots, but they need to work their way up and scale across the map a little bit quicker here too. 3 minutes left on the clock, ample amounts of time, yes, but without that drone anymore, it's gonna be very difficult for them to break into any of these avenues now.
Yeah, time is of the essence. Need to be a little bit more careful as they move around these hallways as well. They don't have that same intel as they did before, and I think things might have gotten a little bit, you know, heated in the voice chat after a situation like that. They really need to try and get out of that mindset and maybe try and focus on the rest of the round. But again, it's gonna be a tough push anyways. These players from online dogs are holding so well. They're gonna try and use some pace though. It's gonna be enough to push Smokey back, but there is a lot more barrels in that hallway, and it's gonna be hard to really force themselves through all that firepower. He's gonna try and make some progress though. They've already pushed some of the players behind, but still the objective is quite far away. Taha spots them out. He doesn't want to take that fight. Nate goes in, but I don't think that's gonna be. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry I said anything. Clock gonna be like, watch this shot, but he will get traded out though. Libra still keeps it in his team's favor. 2 versus 3 as one more goes in favor of Taha. 2 versus 3. Tato is gonna try and move in, but not expecting
no.
Ghost. He's not gonna clear the angle, leaving his teammate in a
What?
1v1. But Taha, what a quick shot! But he has to be low, and he gets the
My
second one as
God.
well.
Oh, man.
Ghost, he wasn't ready for it, and he gets the win. He's gonna get the defuse as well, and that's gonna give them the round. Shoperbro turn things around. They're the miracle team.
It's just Taha, dude. The hours that he's put into that other tactical shooter that we will not name. It's just really showcasing in this game. Taha single-handedly he got a pixel. He just saw a pixel of his enemy and he just instantly tapped away.
That was a
it's
very
stuff like
non-zero hour moment, I'm gonna be honest. That was,
yeah, honestly speaking, that was such a non-zero hour moment. But that's how it just goes. Shoperbro just channeling all of the years of experience that they have playing the other tactical shooter now in towards this game. Taha, he was a star fragger in that game, and he is a star fragger here as well. I'm pretty sure everyone in the voice chat is now ecstatic about that one victory, to be on that attack side, to pull off a miracle like this when two of your players did die out this early on in the round. Online Dogs, they're the ones who were kicking themselves, where all the side of Shoperbro, they have Taha on their shoulders lifting him up in victory.
Definitely feeling it after that. I mean, it felt like their team was in a little bit of a disarray after that incident on the stairwell. Two players losing out, the nades not connecting. Things might have gotten a little bit confusing, but they just make it work. Taha recovering in time, and he had a teammate as well, Clog, getting that nade kill. The support was critical. This will definitely give them an advantage going into the follow-up. Again, on the attacking side as well, Online Dogs, despite being on defense, despite having a little bit more experience and coming up with really solid positions to hold the objective, they are denying entry quite well, but they just couldn't keep up with the pace that the side of Shoperbro just decided to turn the heat up. They just decided that let's just run into the side and force some of these gunfights. And Online Dogs, maybe they're a little bit too passive for their own good. They had some crossfire set up, but they tried to be cautious, and that backfired in the very end. Taha was able to maintain himself. Online Dogs still very much in the fight. Only one round difference as we go into the second one. 1-0 is the score line, and again, said Shoperbro coming in with utility, coming in with the drones and intel. They're gonna take their time with this map. We did see some isolated fights being taken early on, but this time I think they are gonna try and be a little bit more focused on helping their team players, or at least the players like Taha and Fatar, who are going out to try and look for these lurkers, try and look for these initial fights, these positions that are usually being proactively held by the defensive end. They're trying to be the first ones to really fight these angles. So they need that drone assistance. They need that support from their other teammates. And delivering that should be the focus of the other ones, from Clog, from Hasib, the drone as well. So yeah, they're making quick progress. They are already trying to open some of these doors up. They're trying to move in and clear out some of these positions. Give them some comfort knowing that these are open for them to fall back to. But for now, with more than 4 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock, no initial kills just yet, as the side of Shoperbro, they're gonna work this map out as much as they can before they focus on taking the actual fights themselves. Online Dogs not really straying too far from the objective, keeping their boots to the ground, and not really taking any attempts at taking some quick fights through the windows or holding very aggressive positions. They're staying where they're comfy, and they don't want to overextend too much, especially after a round loss like that. And even on the first map as well, they're definitely feeling like they have a bit of a streak for throwing, but never mind. Potato just finds an angle and gets the first kill onto Libra. That's gonna be a 4 versus 5 early on. Online Dogs, I don't know. I don't know where that came from, honestly.
Really awkward position for them, to say the very least. But Online Dogs already trying to lick their wounds for that one. They're in a tough position with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock to try and turn this one back. And already the shots being taken in. Positions are good to try and go in for this hit here. As Ghost in towards the back lane of this one as Fatar. Now looking for the last couple of players on his own accord. Weister's control yet to be established here by the members of Online Dogs. Never mind, Shoperbro, they're going to be the ones to take it almost instantly as they try to take control of that position away from them. C4 in hand. Piranha goes in for the toss to try and deter the push coming in from the side of the Pepper Room. Nades in hand, still can play for it if they wanted to. Tries to stop this even further, but the thing is, they've already lost out on so many of their members. It's going to be a tough call for them to make. Down over to the labs, 1-1 player to be spotted. Sniper does take a backseat. Smokey's position already revealed and known. They're looking for the last call, and they're going to be able to find it. Smokey completely isolated, still can go in for the kill. Yes, he does. He does find it, but look at his HP. Down to the last sliver of health. Down with only 2 players remaining to try and shut this one away. They can easily go in for the defuse if they want to here. And Smokey, he has so much ground to cover to try and fight into them.
I think Shoperbro, they're gonna take their time to reorganize a little bit. Just give Smokey the chance to maybe play around the map a little bit. They're taking the defuse. When fire comes in and here's Potato covering his teammate while the defuse goes down. Round goes in their favor. Shoperbro taking the second one. Online Dogs, they were caught out in a lot of unfortunate timings, but overall their map positioning was just very awkward, and Shoperbro pretty much were in very easy stances to take a lot of these fights. The trades were coming in, but again, Shoperbro, they have chemistry. They're gonna trade those back instantly, and it just kept going back and forth until it was a 2v1, and Smokey was just completely off the site. The map control isn't going the best for them, especially on defensive end like this. They're definitely gonna have to turn up the heat on attack, and that's not the easiest thing to do, especially with Shoperbro. Their momentum's gotta be an all-time high right now. They're definitely feeling this map, and it seems like they're not as uncomfortable as we thought they were. Even if they were, they're definitely fans of this right now, because they're not only really well executing a lot of these rooms, but they're being careful as well. They're having these protocols to clear out a lot of these usually empty rooms and give them some place to work out before they move in towards the objective. This is going to be quite a crucial moment for them if they can maintain a clean 3-0 lead going into the second half. Online Dogs, their attack should be proficient as well. We did see them show some really flashy moves in earlier stages, but Shoperbro, it's the momentum is such a big factor, and the confidence boost that they're feeling as well. It's going to be hard to deter. Online Dogs, again,
deploying in 10 seconds.
I felt like they need to be a little bit more organized going into these rounds, especially considering what's at stake.
Locate and defuse the bomb.
Action phase does begin as the side of Shoperbro move in to the attack, sticking to their defaults, working out each and every angle, clearing out all these rooms before they move towards the objective, before they try and take any instances towards some of these players that are playing quite defensively. But they're going to be moving on to this balcony. He's been playing that so well, making this a really tough fight for these defensive players to take. File control is still very much in favor of Online Dogs, but it's going to be a matter of time before they slowly clear out these spots and move in. Online Dogs being a little bit more proactive right now in trying to hold on to these outer rooms. He's trying to see if he can find an easy pick early on. He's going to need to help Taha eventually, who's going to need to work out a lot of these top floors. It's pretty well established that these rooms are going to be empty, but you just never know. Trying to be safe, they're trying to cover everything they can before going in. He's going to use as they move in towards the spiral site. He's going to drop down, trying to isolate any player and pincer them if he can. So far, he spots nothing, and that's going to be a lot of ground gain for the Shoperbro. Online Dogs so far not really being that aggressive to try and hold on to these positions. And that's going to be tough to say at the very least. It's going to get very chaotic in these late to mid-round positions. They might get overwhelmed by all the chaos and the sheer numbers of Shoperbro. Again, I think one of the players did take a fight. He is gonna be low. It's gonna be Fatar. I think he took a fight towards the spiral stairs, but got denied. Will be only 18 HP and has to fall back. Used up his health stim early on as well, so gotta be careful with his health. Oh, never mind. Libra, he's gonna be putting him out of his misery. Potato, he's gonna try and find similar angles to even things out, but so far, Shoperbro, despite making some progress, they've come to a standstill, not really able to, push through this deep shell that the Online Dogs have created. Sniper Hunt will fall. Solid crossfire and Ghost. The lurk is so good. Smokey as well takes down Clog, and it's gonna be a 2v4 in a matter of seconds. See, in a completely different angle. Smokey almost caught out there, 64 HP, but he's forced to fall back. The kill doesn't go in favor of Shoperbro. It's not gonna be a 3v2 just yet. As they're gonna have to be a little proactive. Again, Ghost is gonna be a big factor going into these last few stages. Piranha takes down Hasib, and it's all down to the last player. I believe first round in favor of Online Dogs. They're gonna make this a 2-1 score line, and going into the second half, it's still very much within grasp. But again, Online Dogs, they need to have sort of an event to really rally the troops together, rally these boys, and say that they're still in this. That first map, it's in the past. Whatever happens, happened. This first half wasn't the best either, but on the attacking end, with the map knowledge that we have, the utility that we have, paired with our gunfight capabilities, it's still very much anyone's game. As we go into the action phase, I think
Use the planning
Shoperbro,
check to find the bomb.
map knowledge will be a little key here to understand what positions they need to hold on to, and how much should they prioritize these positions. Should they give their lives for these rooms, or should they try and fall back and maybe hold crossfires? Should they play solo or ask for a teammate? Should they ask for support, or what? It's gonna be a lot to figure out. But I think their gunfight capabilities, especially the way they hold some of these angles, not really force themselves onto the fights, but wait for the players to come into their crosshairs, is really gonna suit this map. And their proficiency in that might help them extend their lead. But again, Online Dogs not counting them down
Deploying
just
in
yet.
10 seconds.
They might pull an upset that we're not expecting to see.
Locate and defuse the bomb.
Just never know with these games, can you? You might see some very, very proficient attacking has from one of the teams, but defense doesn't really work out in their favor. Piranha, I think, spots someone out early on. He's forced to fall back. That's going to give up some room for Shoperbro, but they still have a lot to work with, so they shouldn't worry too early. And that basement is quite a confusing cluster of rooms and hallways and corridors, so even if they decide to fall back, if they can hold their crossfire strongly, this can still go in their favor. But Online Dogs, they're going to slowly work the rest of the building out first before they're going to go for the objective, as it should be. Shoperbro isn't really a team that focuses on having lurkers, but you can never be too careful. It's better to have confirmation that there is no one, sneaking up behind and maybe posing a threat in the late stages of the game. That is exactly what the side of Online Dogs are trying to do this time. It's going to clear out the second and first floors, eventually make their way down to the bomb. Drones are going to come in as well. That's going to give a lot of intel, and I appreciate the fact that Online Dogs, again, this is something I observed over the course of the tournament. They have definitely expanded the way they play. They're being a little bit more tactical and careful. They still stick to their roots in a lot of these gunfights, and a lot of the times they push in towards the objective and maybe in towards a cluster of players, but overall they are adjusting to more of a tactical style, adding in the fact that they can play slow. But Piranha not expecting that peak from Fatar, and he's definitely surprised him. Libra, he is trying to get that trade in though, but I don't think it's gonna be that tight of an angle. Actually, it's too tight of an angle for him to get, and that's gonna leave him wanting for more. 4 versus 5, online dogs, early disadvantage. Still a little close to 4 minutes on the clock. A lot of room for them to cover, but they should slowly work their way down towards the objective. Especially knowing how much the man count is going to make a difference in that basement area. And again, Shoperbro, they don't want to give any more fights. They have an advantage. They have good positionings, and that's the plan that they're going to stick with, at least as of now. They're not willing to take any more fights. Qatar has fallen back and holding the stairwell and waiting for someone to push in. And as soon as he sees someone, he's gonna put the rest of his team on high alert, and he's gonna get one more into Libra, who might have gone a bit overzealous, peeking down the stairs. As that online dogs, they lost their spearheads. They're gonna have to do some recovery before they try and move in towards this objective room. Gonna be a lot easier said than done, though. Shoperbro still being a little aggressive. They're gonna peek out the doors, peek out the windows, and keep these players on their toes. Online dogs can't really move inside comfortably. Flashbangs do come in. Utility is gonna go down the stairwell. No one's really there, but that gives him some room to move in. But come on, he's just so ready for it. He's just so ready for it. Getting the kill onto the player rushing down. Sniper, he's gonna try and walk in as well. Sorry. Make it a little easier. Ghost gets one kill onto Hasib, but Claw on the other side gets the follow-up, and Potato gets another nail on the coffin. 3-1. Let's have online dogs. Things are not looking good. Even on the attacking end, they are struggling to really win these gunfights. And the way Shoperbro are sneaking around the map, even though we didn't expect them to really have these lurkers and these mobile players all over the place, they are not only taking those one-way static gunfights so effectively, but they're also being dynamic around the map, being mobile, taking advantage, identifying the situation, and peaking at the right time, giving their team an advantage at the late stages, and just completely throwing online dogs in disarray. At a moment where they were trying to organize and they're trying to regroup and take the basement in full force, that is exactly
Use the planning tape to find
apologies,
the bomb.
a little bit of a cough, but that is exactly when Hasib came in through the door. He took those kills, and he's gonna lay additional pressure onto the remaining players of online dogs. It's gonna make the game that much more interesting. And again, one away from map point and one away from taking the series. Shoperbro might be on their way to a redemption arc if they can carry on this performance. Be prepared for the action phase. Side of Shoperbro, they are gonna get themselves
Deploying in 10 seconds.
hold down on this map of Breaking Meth. And I mean, pretty much making me
Located
eat my
and defuse the
words. Things that I said early on about them not being entirely ready for the map, or them not having enough preparation, enough map knowledge, enough information going into what some of these teams have come up with for the course of the tournament. Not really expecting a follow-up peak to come in. Mechanics, this is the experience coming into play. The timings they're going for in these peaks, they know when the player is thinking that, oh, there's no one there. That is exactly when the shots come in, and he's going to be low on health very early into the game. And that's gonna really make life miserable for him. He's gonna have to swap things out. If he was taking a more proactive role, maybe swap up with a teammate that is a little bit better on health. But Sniper is gonna fall into Hasib, who has been a bit of a ghost himself Lurkbot, be mobile. Taha just sneaking around the map. Piranha not even knowing that he has to clear that. Smokey, oh no, he left? I think, yeah, he was alive. That means it's gonna be a 2 versus 5 for now. As Libra is gonna try and scale some of these doorways, but he's not doesn't really have any room. He doesn't really have enough information, and he doesn't know where to go. His teammate is so far away. He's gonna try and reconvene. As Ghost, he can't really push out. He's gotta be careful about his left as well. Libra does find one of Taha, who was a little bit overzealous, coming in through the doorway. He's trying to see if he can find more. El Ghost, he's gonna be on some added pressure. Sends a smoke flying to maybe buy him some time, maybe get him some cover and focus on his hallway. Instead, it's not gonna really do much. Try and send some wall bangs to the smoke. Ooh, I think shots did connect or not. I don't think they connected in the end. Again, he's trying to help his teammate out. He's trying to come into another place. Be a little useful, but Potato just holding that angle from Spiral Stair. And that's gonna isolate Ghost. They know exactly where he is. It's gonna be a matter of time before they come for him. Hunt him down. But still, he might. He's definitely gonna give it his best shot to win these gunfights. Despite their dominance, Shoperbro still being very patient on the map. Not really playing the 1v4 in an aggressive manner. Being careful, being steady, and letting the opponent make the move. And we see spots out the door open and holds the angle. Spots him walking into his crosshair. And with that, a 4-1 scoreline. Shoperbro on the verge of victory, on the verge of taking it to the grand finals against the champions, against the reigning champions, the best team in Bangladesh, allegedly. Not allegedly, it's pretty much established at this point that Rancor, they are definitely the top of the top. And Online Dogs, despite their mean streak with that team, despite the revenge stories, despite all the aggression they have, they're gonna be forced to play a 4v5 again on match point, series point at this point. A lot of points. Another point I'd like to make is that Sniper Hunt is gonna be playing the Enfield. That is okay to do so. There are windows, there are doorways on this map that can be exploited, and I don't think Shoperbro will be expecting this. No one's done this before on Breaking Meth. So maybe Online Dogs might get kills here and there, but I feel like Shoperbro is gonna react really quick. But again, do you want to do these, strategies or unique plays in a 4-1 scoreline? In a series point situation, you lose this map, you are third. You are done with the tournament. You are not moving on to the grand finals. You're not gonna see critical response today if Online Dogs don't make this round work. Shoperbro are definitely gonna be high on momentum. They're definitely gonna be feeling the confidence, and rightfully so. They're hitting their shots. I'm not even overselling it. They are hitting their shots. They are utilizing their map knowledge and holding the perfect angles that the side of Online Dogs aren't expecting it, or at least aren't ready for. Taking the swings, the very few swings that they are taking is so highly effective, and the timing is gonna be so good that Online Dogs, they either die out or take a lot of damage, and they are just not able to keep up with it. Sniper Hunt. Where is he gonna play from is my question. He does have the Enfield, I believe. I just saw. His angle is the question, and Taha so aggressive. He's so aggressive. He's gonna run back, but he does get traded to Piranha, who has made significant progress on the stairwell, but he's gonna be pushed back as he sees a bunch of players hold up there. Oh, he even gets traded down now. Oh, Clog runs it back and chases him, and oh, another player gets downed or dead, I believe. He's taken down. It's all on to Ghost. GG's coming in chat already. Wow. Seep saying it's unlucky, but Ghost is gonna try his luck in a 1 versus 4. Sucks. It sucks that Smokey got disconnected on the last round. But now forced in a very, very tough situation. Very anticlimactic last round, to say the very least. But yeah, I mean, solidarity in the chat, in the game chat. Everyone making their feelings known. It's all GGs and fun here. Ghost does find one. Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Ghost, you're not doing any weird shenanigans. No. He does find one. Still 3 players left. He's got ample amounts of time. 4 minutes on the clock. More than 4 minutes, dare I say. As the problem is, he doesn't know where any of these players are. He's going to have to manually clear a lot of these rooms. He does have time for it, but again, he's gonna slow down the pace, and I think the side of Shoperbro really excel at that pace. He's gonna try and rappel up. Very risky move. They should be hearing this. They should know exactly where he's coming from. If they don't know now, they will know eventually. And that stairwell is gonna be such a funnel for Ghost to push in through. Gonna try and land on the balcony. Risky moves, risky moves. But at this point, he's gotta try something. C2 charge to open that door. Shots coming in. He's trying to get out of there. But yeah, I mean, unless he pulls out a miracle, we are going to see Shoperbro versus Rancor. And honestly, that's the dream match for me. I mean, I want to see Online Dogs get their revenge story back. Wait, did he reconnect? Smokey's not back. Yes, Smokey's not in the round. Still a 1 versus 4. 1 versus 3, actually. Sorry. They know exactly where he is. We see the push coming in from Spiral. C2 charge opens up the door, trying to distract some of these players. The repeat should be coming in. No, they're actually going to hold this very passively. They know he's either going to come in through that door he just opened up. Potatoes got that. The rest of the players are holding on to Spiral where they just saw him. Visual confirmation. Ghost, he's trying to see if the distraction works, trying to see if anyone's going to peek out. Maybe try to go for some extra information. A good angle to fight from. No one's giving him the fight. It's completely unnecessary is the question. Shoperbro don't need to go for this. And as long as they maintain their posture, it's gonna be Rancor taking on Shoperbro the day after tomorrow in the grand finals. Either we crown a new champion, we bring in the new kings who have been kings in the past before, or the rule carries on. Rancor keep their dominant trail on the go, and Hasib sees the player as the door opens, and he's gonna get that last kill. GG's in the chat, and it's gonna be Shoperbro to finish things off, landing their spot in the grand finals. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our showdown set for the day after tomorrow on the 12th of August, ladies and gentlemen. Mark it down on your calendars. You do not want to miss this. Shoperbro, the experienced bunch, the bunch that have been playing FPSs forever, tactical FPSs, shooters that are very much like Zero Hour, have a chemistry like no other team, have been through highs and lows, including this very grueling lower bracket run after a very early loss, a very early hit that we weren't expecting them to take. They make it through the dense jungle and take down team after team after team to meet Online Dogs and then book their tickets to the grand finals to take on Rancor, the reigning champions who have dominated every team they've faced. Be that this tournament, be that the one before, it's gonna be a David versus Goliath fight. That is guaranteed, and that is bound to be an epic matchup indeed. And with that being said, I am so excited. I don't want it to end. Can we the grand final started now? I'm just so hyped for this matchup. Make sure you guys join, ladies and gentlemen, on August 12th, the day after tomorrow. We are going to be starting the grand finals off. It's going to be a best of 5, I believe. And if you do want to experience Zero Hour for yourself, we are going to be giving away codes as well on the stream. Check it out on YouTube, Twitch, and on Facebook. If you stay active, if you keep your eyes peeled, you might land yourself a code or a key to get the game on Steam. With that being said, the 0 hour action might be very near the end, but it's far from over, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to be present during the grand finals. And with that being said, I'm going to be taking my goodbye. This has been Miki Rito, aggressive, alongside me throughout the majority of the game. We're going to say our goodbyes, and we are hoping that you join us in the finals. Till then, take care, stay safe, and we will see you later.